"Who is Malala?" said the irate man holding a .45 caliber revolver. All the faces in the bus pointed to a young girl, only 15 years of age, her face being the only one uncovered. This was Malala, and in less than 5 minutes, a gunshot will go off, and blood will slowly seep from her head as her body falls into the lap of her classmate. Malala was born on July 12, 1997, in the peaceful valley of Swat, Pakistan. However, it wasn't peaceful for long, as slowly the Taliban, a terrorist organization, commandeered control over the area and took control of the people and the culture alike. Now, Malala saw at a very young age the travesties of a patriarchal society, as slowly the Taliban took away her and her female classmates' right to an education and forced them to be homebound. However, embodied with the courage of a tiger, she did not sit idle and dedicated her life from the age of 8 to fighting these injustices. Throughout her journey, she demonstrated the characteristics of a true revolutionary, that being of courage, ambition, and generosity. Now I'm going to tell you a few instances where she displayed these characteristics. At only the age of 11, her and her dad started a blog post on the BBC where they detailed the travesties caused by the Taliban, especially the fact that the Taliban took away her right and her female classmates' right to an education. This was a very courageous act on her part, for she was only 11 years old and she was putting herself and her family on the radar of the Taliban, putting themselves in danger. But she knew it was something that they had to do because the world needed to know what the Taliban were doing to her people. In addition to courage, Malala also demonstrated a great deal of ambition even after this attempt had been made on her life in order to spread her truth. At the age of 16, once she had immigrated to England in order to be a refugee from the Taliban, she actually stood up in front of the entirety of the United Nations and addressed them and decreed the lack of access to education in developing areas as an international emergency that needs to be taken seriously by all nations within the UN. This was again very ambitious because a threat had been literally made to her life a few years before, but yet she was coming again in front of the media and still very adamant to her cause in order for her truth to be spread throughout the globe. And finally, Malala demonstrated a great deal of generosity through her work that she has done recently. In fact, as of 2013, Malala actually started a fund known as the Malala Fund, where she has used those donations to open so many schools throughout the globe in developing areas to give access to education to all children alike, regardless of their age, race, sex, gender, everything. And so again, she is using her generosity to make these important opportunities available to all young kids because she knows when you're given education, you are empowered to use your voice for your truth. And so the phrase "to fight like a girl" doesn't necessarily now connotate to fighting weakly, does it? Because Malala showed through her work that to fight like a girl means to fight with courage, to fight with ambition, to always show generosity in your work because people need to know that you're genuine and that you are passionate. And so this is Malala in conclusion. Imagine being that girl sitting next to her on that fateful day, living in a society controlled by men who see you as only a slave to their desires, having to fight every day to be independent, to be a human. And now the only person who ever fought for your voice has laid silence on your lap. The anger you must feel. However, the joy you must feel knowing that not even a bullet could stop her. Again, Malala is a revolutionary. She has shown so much courage from the young age of 8 demonstrating that no matter how old you are never too young to fight for the truth, no matter who you're telling it to, no matter how intimidating they may be. You need to be courageous. Malala is ambitious, as she knew that in order to spread her truth, she needed to do some bizarre things, like going in front of the UN before she even had her driver's license. And finally, she put her money where her mouth is by being generous and using her donations from her namesake fund, the Malala Fund, to directly help the people she promised to protect. She gave young girls around the globe a voice. She gave them education. This was Malala.